Good afternoon, world. It is moments past noon in Waxahachie, Texas, deep in the heart of the Lone Star State. If you didn't know it was 43 this morning, you wouldn't know it by looking outside. But
That's nice now.
boy, it's a fall day, and I'm wearing as you can see, flannel shirt and a sweater vest, and I think I'm gonna be wearing that a lot for the next
Yeah,
six months probably. But
probably so.
anyway, we're broadcasting live from our palatial studio here in downtown Waxahachie in the shadows of the Ellis County Courthouse. And today is the 29th of October. We got Halloween coming
30th.
up this weekend.
Wait, what's today?
29th,
30th.
30th. God darn
Man,
it.
tomorrow's Halloween.
Tomorrow's Halloween.
Yeah.
And it's episode number 104 of Grit and Good News.
Yep.
Although actually, it was supposed to be 103. You
Yeah.
said you didn't have
We
it, so
didn't.
it's
We didn't have a
actually
show on
103.
Saturday.
You got
I
the
mean, and
numbers, Sam?
on Tuesday, so it's 103 today. Yeah.
You got
Did you do?
numbers for 3 or 4, Sam? Three.
Yep.
Alrighty. Um. Anyway, I'm Jeff Lynch, your co-host. Capably manning the board is our man Sam. And to my right,
Thank you, brother.
Scott Brooks.
Hey, everyone. Thank you for being here. We know this, or this show is done. Oh, hey, Terry. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're feeling a lot better. Terry's not been feeling well lately, so we've missed you the past couple of shows, but glad you're back. Hope you're feeling better. Good News is on every Tuesday and Thursday, noon to 1 o'clock Texas time, which is Central Standard Time. Jeff and I and Sammy talk about a number of things. Most of them are broad in nature insofar as the topics apply to anybody in the country, no matter where you live. We do talk from time to time about things related to our specific city, Waxahachie. Waxahachie, little known by name. Once you hear it, you'll remember it. But we're 30 minutes directly south of downtown Dallas. You can be at Love Field to catch a flight in 30 minutes easy. Most any time of the day. So we're not a Dallas suburb or part of the sprawl, but we are very close to the Metroplex. So that's where we're at in this country.
And we're on 35E,
East. Yep.
right above the split.
Yep. That's right. So anyway, thank you for being here. We got a whole lot to talk about. You know, we do show prep and we go through a number of topics each as we get ready for each show, and we try to decide on ones that will catch your interest. We got a lot to talk about today. We begin the show by Sammy telling us what notable athletes in the country or in the world wore, in this case, either wore or wear number 3.
Yeah, so I didn't get too much time kind of caught up on me, but I got NBA and NFL. There's not a lot for NFL and there's not a whole lot for
Well, let's
NBA.
start with NFL. We know we got Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else though? Who else
Yeah.
comes to mind
Well,
when you
you
think
won't
of
remember
three?
a quarterback named Daryl LaMonica for the Oakland Raiders, but he wore number 3.
Was he any
Was
good?
he was
Yeah,
he
he
the
was
Mad
good.
Bomber?
I don't know if that's what they call him, but he was good. He played back in the days with the field goal kicker. I forget his name, and then Dave Casper. Those were the days of the big time Oakland Raiders. Al Lalzado, remember him?
Lyle Alzado.
Crazy linebacker. But
That
who?
that kicker was the first time they ever took a kicker number 1 in
Yeah,
as the first draft choice.
I don't remember his name though. Sammy, what else you got?
He stayed long.
We got Derwin James, current. He's really good. Buda Baker, current. Other than
Pickens.
huh?
And Pickens, is he number 14 or number 3? He's number 3. George Pickens of the Cowboys.
Oh, he just turned number 3. That's
He
good.
was 14 at
He was.
Pittsburgh.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
so
So
he's number
yeah,
3.
add George Pickens, and then it gave me Carson Palmer for some reason. He was a Heisman winner, so I thought
Yeah,
I'd throw him in there.
USC boy.
NBA
Oh,
has.
wait a minute. You can't. How can we forget John Kitna
Oh my gosh,
of Waxahachie High School football fame,
we did.
among
We're
other
doing notable.
NFL. He wore number 3 for the longest time. I don't think he
And
wore
then he
it.
coached Waxahachie.
He did.
Right, yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Later. Anyway, what?
Moving on to NBA, we got any guesses?
Well, we
Comes
got.
to mind.
Well, don't we have? We just talked about him getting hurt.
Oh
No,
my gosh, you're right.
Anthony Davis. Doesn't he wear number 3?
Yeah, he is
Yeah.
number 3. So
Who
yeah,
else?
Anthony Davis. We got Allen Iverson, probably the best to wear number 3. Dwayne Wade, Chris Paul, Ben Wallace, and Dennis Johnson.
Wow.
There's not a lot. There's not
Yeah.
a whole lot.
Yeah, and I don't think these low numbers in hockey There's not a number 3 that I can think of.
Oh well, since Sam didn't do it, I didn't do it because I thought he would. It's full of great defensemen. 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
and 5. Those are the key defenseman numbers.
All right. So there you have it. Number 3s in the world of sports. Other things we want to mention, updates. So we got the Marine Ball. We keep talking about that. It will be November the 10th, so a week from Monday night. Marine Ball here in Ellis County. So if you are interested, uh, you go to the Waxahachie Sun. You'll find plenty of information there about the Marine Ball. It's at the Civic Center. Starts at 7 p.m. I'm sure they would love to have you. It's going to be a all-out gala.
And Sam had a couple of guys here. I didn't get a chance to watch it. How'd they do on their podcast?
It went really good. It
Yeah.
went really good. It's up on our YouTube channel, and I'm gonna post it again on our Facebook. I'm gonna give people the link.
Good.
But yeah, you can find it on the YouTube channel right now.
They
Waxahachie Sun.
looked happy to be here.
Yeah, they
Well,
are. They
they're
were.
putting on a big show, so it's important that we recognize
Yeah.
our Marines. Let's see. We got the weekend sports, both that just happened and that's coming up. My Alabama Crimson Tide are rolling on. We have an off week, bye week this week, and then we play LSU at home next Saturday. So
Did I see they're up to
that'll be
number 3?
number 4, yeah.
Okay.
And I suspect that's probably where they're going to stay. I don't know that Ohio State.
The Ohio State.
Who's number 2?
Indiana.
Indiana, and I forget who.
They'll probably win out.
Number 3 would be not Georgia, not Ole Miss. I forget who it is, but anyway, I think Bama's going to win out. I think we got
A&M?
LSU, Oklahoma, A&M. We got LSU, Oklahoma, Eastern Illinois, and Auburn. So we should win out, which will put us in the playoffs. So we're happy about that. Dallas Cowboys, got spanked the other day in Denver.
Yeah, I didn't even watch it. Didn't even want to watch it.
Denver is a good football team. Sean Payton's the real deal, and Bo Nix is the real deal.
Yep.
I mean, they're 6-2, the Broncos.
When they interviewed Sean Payton at the half, and it was 27-0, and the little cutie pie that was interviewing him said, you are now 60-0 in the last 2 quarters you played because they got the 33 at the end of the other game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's quite a little stat.
I mean, Denver's a force to be reckoned with. So the Cowboys, and the Cowboys aren't, but the Cowboys struggled. Defense gave up 44 points. The trade deadline, I believe, is next week. I'm gonna tell you something. If I were Jerry Jones, one, I don't think. Well, I wouldn't continue to be I wouldn't ever been the general manager. But there are 2 players out there that I think could be had. You got to have a
Henderson?
lot of money. Henderson's one of them.
Max Crosby?
No, Myles Garrett. If I were the Dallas Cowboys, and we believe we have a shot offensively, we can hold our own. Although we only scored 22 points against the Broncos, but when you give up 44 points, you're not going to be on the field long enough to score much with your offense. So I would say Trey Hendrickson and Myles Garrett. If you want to make a splash, sign both of them.
No.
Sign both of them.
But the only way it does you any good, considering that it's still a stretch to make the playoffs, is you're not on a rent 'em for the rest of the year basis.
No.
It's only if you sign them big
I
time.
say, well, I mean, those 2 players still have a lot in them. I would at least sign one of them.
Myles Garrett
Myles Garrett wants out.
just had a 5-sack game.
I know, and they lost.
Yeah.
And he's ticked. He's had enough. I don't blame him. I mean, who wants to be stuck in Cleveland with that kind of talent? I mean, as an A&M boy that's had talent since he's been at A&M, and Cowboys are sitting right there. Cowboys got to do something, otherwise we're just going to say, okay, we're done for the year. We don't care.
Did you pick up on Jerry's? I guess it was probably on his radio interview. How he ripped into his Cowboys?
No, but
he ripped them hard, and he said, "I'll tell you the 2 biggest problems that we have on this is lack of leadership on this team, and too much turnover of defensive coordinators, third one in 3 years." And I'll take part of the blame for that, he said.
he'd take all the blame.
Yeah.
He should. The problem with the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, as we've written and opined before.
Right.
But they're so he need not look. He can blame anybody he wants to, but he's the reason. And
And then on a related note, they were interviewing Marty Schottenheimer,
yeah,
Ryan
Brian Shutdown.
Schottenheimer, and the guy asked him a question. He said, "I don't want to hear about our offense being so great and our defense being so bad. We're all about team and team wins. And let me tell you one thing. Dak couldn't care one bit about being an MVP.
I
He
heard him.
he
He
wants
wants
to
to
win
win
the
a Super
Super Bowl.
Bowl.
I'm
Yeah,
thinking, well, he might still care about the
yeah. I would
MVP.
imagine he cares
Yeah.
about winning MVP. Uh, so you got the Cowboys are there. Mavs. Mavs are still struggling. They're what 2-3,
Yeah, they're
2-4.
2-3 now. It was an interesting game last night.
Yeah,
We've had some drama. Brandon Williams, Monday or Tuesday, was arrested at the Dallas Fort Worth airport
for
for
weapons,
marijuana.
marijuana.
Plays last night, has one of his best games of his career, 20 points, 9-14 from the field. He played great. He was the reason we won. Him and Dwight Powell. Dwight Powell is the longest tenured Mavericks player. He joined in December of 2014. He played a great game after Anthony Davis went down. He had 18 points, very efficient. Clay Thompson is 7 from 27 from the start of the season. I think he needs to be
7
benched.
for 27.
Yeah.
Jeez.
He needs to be benched.
25%.
And my last
Yeah.
thing is that Jason Kidd needs to move Cooper. Cooper is playing out of position, and it doesn't look good at all. So
Yeah, something's got to give, and it will. I mean, I think the Mavs will find their stride. They're just working through it now, and then of course Kyrie will come back in a couple of months.
yeah.
Terry Beasley says Bo Nix looks like Patrick Mahomes. I'm telling you,
Hmm.
Bo Nix is the real deal, and we're gonna see what happens with Denver. So we got you got the Mavs, Cowboys tied, and of course I'm wearing my Buffalo Bills hoodie today. So Buffalo plays at home against Chiefs Sunday afternoon. It's a big deal. Any game, Bills game in Buffalo is a big deal. But when they play the Chiefs, man, people go berserk up there because of the rivalry.
How's the Bills' defense?
The Bills getting better. I mean, it's
Are they still injured?
still a little bit, yeah, but I think they're slowly coming back. The Bills are 5-2, I believe, just whooped Carolina's butt
Yeah.
40-9, a Carolina team that had just beaten us, the
Mhm.
Cowboys. So
Mhm.
we'll see. But the Bills are playing at home this weekend. Let's see a couple of tornations I've got. I'm going to tell you something, man. These people on the left just grate on me. These senators and House representatives grate on me like chalk, like nails on a chalkboard. One of them is Eric Swalwell, and we wrote some stuff recently, content about useful idiots. He's one of the number one useful idiots out there, where people on the left and in the media are like, let's get old Eric on. He'll say something stupid. And sure enough, Eric Swalwell recently came out and said that, uh, according to him, that any candidate for presidency in 2028, any Democratic presidential candidate, a litmus test is that they must commit to not blowing up, I don't want to say that, but tearing down the ballroom that's being built by Trump. So if you listen to somebody like Eric Swalwell, Trump's going to build this $250 million ballroom. It'll be done in a year and a half or a year. So we'll only be around, and when it gets to 2028, it will only be standing for a year. And Eric Swalwell, in all his brilliance, says we're going to tear that sucker down. Now, this is a guy that says we can't be messing with the White House and tearing stuff down, but you got to tear down the big, beautiful ballroom. Is there a better example of a useful idiot than that? I mean, seriously.
No, and that was a great Substack uh topic that we
Yeah,
had
that
recently, and the whole ballroom deal is our Substack coming up this
Monday.
Monday,
Yeah.
and I got some hilarity to my
Yeah,
point.
I read your column. I mean, your poem on it. That was very good. But Swalwell, uh, that's a tarnation if there ever was one. Another tarnation, flight attendant in Pittsburgh. The flight is taxiing to take off. Imagine we're on that flight. All right, we're as happy as we're ready to go. Let's just play it on that. Say we're going to some great and good news. We're going to represent our company and out somewhere in a resort. All right, and so we're chilled. We're ready to go, drinking us a little water, and the flight attendant, one of them, pulls button or pushes the button or whatever to activate the inflatable slide. So the slide pops
And, and the door open
the
is part of
slide
that.
open. Well, I don't know what all else happens,
Yeah.
but so the door open, the slide goes down, and they are, I don't know how many multiple hours late leaving because of that. Go figure. Loyola Marymount in New Orleans, University in New Orleans, it has to date denied a chapter for Charlie Kirk's TP USA, Turning Point USA. And now the governor of Louisiana is getting involved, and I suspect that uh, that Trump will get involved as well, and that won't stand for very long.
I know there's a Loyola in Chicago,
There are plenty of them.
and aren't they normally Catholic schools?
Yeah, they are Jesuit schools,
Jesuit schools,
and
and
they but yeah. So Charlie Kirk stood firm against abortion and things like that, which obviously as a Catholic, that's a
right,
big part of
right.
a tenet of the Catholic Church. But Oklahoma, I'm sorry, Loyola Marymount in New Orleans has said Charlie Kirk was a race, all that stuff, racist, homophobic, misogynist, all the ists out there, and so they denied it. But I believe that's going to be forced to be changed. Let's see. I think that's all I have for my tornations. What do you got?
Sam's got a photo for you. Boy, that wind yesterday. We were driving back from Hot Springs, and all these big trucks are getting blown all over. I pull up in my driveway in Waxahachie. I've been looking at the weather, and it's 23-mile-an-hour wind with gusts to 47. And I come home. We got this huge pecan tree in the backyard. That when there's wind, we tend to. It's like a self-pruning mechanism.
Yeah,
Everything.
knocks them all
And
out.
so do you have that up there? So as you can see, there's a bunch of big branches down, and that blue barrel is full of me taking all the smaller ones and breaking them that they'll fit into that blue barrel. That thing weighs a ton, and that was about an hour and a half of picking up branches.
Yeah,
And
I
I go,
mean it was
what in tarnation happened here?
the winds were strong on Tuesday, stronger yesterday.
Yeah,
I mean it to me. I mean, I'm wearing a hoodie, excuse me, because it's cold.
yep.
Now we just walked over to the studio and it's nice out there now, but still it's a little nip in the wind and in the air, and I think it should be that way. It's November almost, for goodness sake.
It was 43 in the western suburbs of Fort Worth. It had a
Yeah,
frost warning.
yeah. By the way, this afternoon at I think it's 3 to 5 p.m. They're having the trunk or treat or whatever you call it downtown, and we have a little setup for all these little hellions that want to come over and get their candy. So we'll be seeing that today. And in years past, it's been rainy. Some years rainy, very cold for all these kids. And but today looks like it's going to be a nice day. All right, I think that's all the tornations I have for now. Let's talk about Mr. What I call Mr. Dystopia Biden. You may have a different take on it. Sammy's been watching these movies and shows lately that are all about dystopia and dark, and I don't know what you need to see somebody for that, but
Hunger Games.
so
Hunger
Miss
Games was great.
so
Great.
dystopia. I kid Sammy about liking dystopia movies or shows. I like Euphoria kind of stuff, positive. But we're gonna play this video for you. I want to play not all of it. I don't think. I think I have to tell you when to turn it off. But this is Joe Biden 3 days ago talking about the state of America as he sees it and what he thinks needs to happen. So let's play it, Sam.
1 second.
Friends, I can't sugarcoat any of this. These are dark days, but we're one of the only countries in the world that time and again has come out of every crisis we faced stronger than we went into that crisis. Every one. And after half a century of watching this, sometimes moved to the brink before finding our true compass again, I still believe we'll emerge, as we always have. Stronger, wiser, more resilient, more just. So long as we keep the faith, remember who in God's name we are.
So what dark days is he talking about? Do you know?
Well, my take is, and it's probably not what he's talking about, but my take is, we talk about this all the time, about the dark days we have with the growing rift between the two segments of the country, particularly the part about the violence and related hatred coming from the liberal side. And I'm sure people on the liberal side say, well, there's just as much hatred coming from the conservative side, but I sure don't see it.
Yeah.
And so that is, it is dark days. Now, in our prep, you were telling me, I think we caught the easy part of this clip, because you know what? To say it's a dark time and we're going to overcome like we've always overcome, I found that uplifting. But I think what you told me is there was way more of it when there was a lot of blaming Trumpism.
Yeah, I
So I
mean
don't
the
know.
dark day. Yeah, I think you're giving him the benefit of the doubt, which I'm not surprised that. I mean, you're a kind person and try to look at the positive and everything. The totality of what his remarks were about, the dark days he's referring to, not to the exclusion of the violence and the hatred that wafts through DC and other parts of the country, and I claim is wafting a bit through Waxahachie right now. The dark days, though, that he's referring to are dark days that he thinks Trump has ushered in. And so Biden, if you think of the context of Biden's thinking, Biden believes that he was a great president. That you'll hear him say, and others who support him, like Jean Pierre, still, he says that president. She says this president, speaking of Biden, um, did more in 4 years than presidents before him did in 2 terms. Now, the presidents before him that served 2 terms, one of them is Donald Trump hasn't served; he's in his second term, but the other 2 term presidents he's referring to or she's referring to are
W.
W.
Clinton.
Clinton and Obama. All right, 2 of the 3 are liberal.
Right.
So, but Biden believes his context or his benchmark is that he was a great president. Now we all, even those who are willing to be honest with themselves, particularly those on the left who are willing to be honest with themselves, can refute that in a matter of seconds. I certainly can, in my opinion, I can. If there was anybody that's ushered in the hate and the vitriol, it was during Biden's 4 years.
Yeah.
Um, and so, but the dark days are talking about Donald Trump. And so I say to anybody, if I was sitting here talking to Jasmine Crockett or any other loudmouths that want to claim the same, is I would just say, what dark days has Trump brought to America? Because right now we know that the measurables, the metrics with respect to inflation, unemployment, uh, it, uh, the GDP, whatever other metrics there are either border immigration, they're either at their lowest point or are heading to that place. And so
Gasoline sitting at 243 last week.
the
It
what
was
is
gas at
yeah, yeah, yeah.
243. It was in the
And
230s
still
a
going
couple
down.
weeks ago,
Yep.
and um,
The price of eggs, I saw something I can't remember if it was they dropped $1.80 per dozen or something, but I think it was that they dropped $1.80 per dozen. Now we heard during the campaign last year about this time that, oh, if Trump wins, you wait until it, this time next year. They'll say wait until you see what the price of this or that is. Wait until you see the impact of Trump's tariffs. Remember, tariffs were going to implode this country and so on and so forth. But all the indicators are showing that this country is in great shape and maybe I should say good shape and heading to greater shape. So it's this perpetuation of a false narrative that the Democrats, particularly those that like Joe Biden, are wanting to keep alive. And so that speech was to say these those were these are these things are what makes it dark. And then you add in what you said, which is the hatred and the vitriol and the fighting and the violence and all that sort of thing. I'll say to anybody, and I'm being serious about it. I'm not interested in playing gotcha. I'm interested in anybody on the liberal side that would love to come in here and say, here's where the problems are. So if you're watching and you want to be that person, I'll treat you with great respect. Jeff will too, and we'll just talk.
We've made comments like this before. Do you never get a call from anybody saying,
No.
"Hey, we want to be on your show"?
No. Matter of fact, no. I mean, I've talked with some. I've talked with the head of the Democratic Party in Ellis County number of times. I happen to like her, Kelly Blackburn. I don't agree with her, but I happen to like her. I have great respect for her. I think she is angered by what I have to say, but I'm angered by what she has to say. But there's no disrespect on my behalf and no dislike. But I would love to talk to folks to help me understand what it is that's so dark and what is missing in the mindset of people who can't understand that the hate and the vitriol comes from the left. Now, sure, people will say, "Well, Donald Trump calls people names and all that sort of thing." But Donald Trump hasn't created any violence. He's the one who's had violence uh, toward him. And so, have you ever? And Sammy, I ask you the same thing. And I'm being legit. I'm being authentically legit. Have you ever heard anybody on the right, including me and anybody else in politics, uh, that on a state or local or national level from the right ever call anyone a Nazi?
No.
Never. Have we ever referred to Joe Biden as Hitler? Have we ever? I mean, we've called Joe Biden demented because he is. I mean, and I'm hesitant when it comes to somebody's looks and somebody's mental issues. I refuse, not because I have any I'm virtue signaling, but you'll never hear me say that making fun of Joe Biden for having dementia. My mother-in-law has it, and it's getting deeper and worse every second of the day, including yesterday morning when I had to go out there to be sure she was all right. And she believed somebody had broken into her house. And so there is no making fun of that. Same thing with someone's looks. I mean, we might talk about how somebody dresses or how somebody uh, behaves and talks, but those are controllables. But when it comes to somebody's looks, the way they were born, I hate to see somebody be made fun of because of the
Yeah.
way that they, somebody's got big ears or he's got a big nose or he's got he's got one eye. Well, I mean, these that's the way they were born. Go ahead.
Well, help me sort this out. My long-term memory is pretty good. I think my short term is pretty good. I think my midterm is where
Mhm.
I'm rough. And I'm trying to think about what the world was like. We got elections coming up. We don't have a federal one. We got a big election.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah. And last year it was a huge big election. Okay. So what was the world like in the 4 years of the Biden era by the attitude of liberals? I don't remember the hate. And the broken record part I'm talking about is how many times have you heard me say that the liberals are just still reeling with hurt and shock over losing that election? And I think that's where that has spurred the hate. Does
Yeah,
that make any
it
sense?
does make sense, and I think that's part of what provokes the left is that they've lost.
Yeah.
And anytime you not
And they didn't
anytime.
expect to.
Well, true. And what exacerbates that is that there is if you look at the Democratic Party and you say, where is their hope? Who represents their hope? In other words, do they have a JD Vance? Do they have a Marco Rubio? Do they have a Pete Hegseth? Do they have a Tulsi Gabbard? Do they have a Pam Bondi? And those people that I just mentioned are our bench, if you want to look at it that way. So we can look down our bench and say, man, we got a stud. That's our number 2 quarterback, and we got right next to him who will be our stud will become the number 1 quarterback in 2028, and the guy next to him, Marco Rubio, is probably going to become the number 2 quarterback. I would venture to say, unless something cataclysm, whatever that word is,
Cataclysmic.
that too happens, those two are nobody's unbeatable, but those two are very close to being unbeatable. So when you look down and we had this discussion, we've had Collins about it before, but we've talked about it more in here before, is who is on the bench for the Democratic Party that represents, I'm not talking about their conjured hope. I'm talking about in their mind, their legitimate hope. I think the last two great hopes for the left were Barack Obama and Bill Clinton. And Barack Obama's taken a beating in the years since he's been out of the presidency, because people are starting to see the fallacy of the things including Obamacare. But who's their hope? I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
does somebody does Gavin Newsom come to mind? Gavin Newsom is going to make Kamala Harris look like the smartest, most articulate person in the history of the United States. I'm telling you, when he starts running in earnest, he's already started running for 2028. But when he starts it in earnest, we're going to see a guy that we're going to say, you talking about a tarnation? What in a tarnation is he up to?
Yeah. And historically, I'm listening to you while I'm trying to go back through presidents, and I'm thinking about history in terms of, was FDR a hateful president?
Right.
No.
Yeah.
JFK?
Right.
No. LBJ?
Right.
No. Then we got Nixon in there, and then we get the next Democrat is Jimmy Carter. Could there be a more peaceful president ever?
Mm-hmm.
And Bill Clinton, I don't know, you call him a hateful person. And so the Democratic Party does not have a rich tradition of hatred, is where
Yeah,
I'm going.
you're right. I mean, it was always forever in my lifetime the party of the people.
Yeah.
They're the ones who resisted elites and who didn't, they disavowed country club mentality and were the ones to take care of minorities and so on and so forth. I think during those times, much of that was a bunch of bluster, and because those same minorities that they have claimed since the 50s that they were going to get out of being poverty, still in poverty. So it was all, in my opinion, a ruse. But you're right. Their brand it's flip flopped. And
Yeah.
so when we think
Yeah.
about what creates the violence and the hatred, I think it's because they look down their bench and they don't see anybody. So they have to resort to the only thing they believe is in their arsenal, which is this hatred and this violence. Because I'm almost assured that in the Clinton years, even in the Obama years, we did not hear the right being called Nazis and Hitler and all that. What we saw from Obama was the beginning of the disrespect for law enforcement.
Yeah.
We saw him, although he deported millions of people. We started seeing other elements of government that now have become that he ushered in that have become full force, the entitlement stuff. And so I'm not comfortable, and I'm pretty adamant about making sure that we don't allow folks on the left to say that we're in dark times.
Right. And you
We're
know
not
what?
in dark
You
times.
just cannot be a sore loser.
Yeah.
You think about how we feel in Dallas with our Cowboys. They had so many glory years, and then they haven't won it in so long. And if we turn bitter and hateful because we were losing,
Yeah.
but we haven't.
Yeah. We
We're,
have, I
we're
mean,
still fans,
there
and
are people
we
that
still
would,
have hope.
we do. I mean, the Cowboys have, if anything, we've proven we have hope, because every year we say this is the year. I'm here to say that this won't be the year until Jerry Jones, not that I wish him to pass away, but until he gives up the reins, either because he wanted to, had to, or was convinced to. We're going to have hope that disappoints us. All right, so there you have it. Let's talk about the shutdown. The shutdown now is going on a month, the longest shutdown in the history of this country. I think there's been 12 or 13 votes. The most recent was Monday or Tuesday, so we have the not big beautiful bill, but we have the deal. Let's call it that the left refuses to sign because it doesn't include anything to ensure that people who are on Obamacare don't have increases in their insurance. So they're wanting $230 something million to be included in the deal that takes care of that and insurance for illegals. That's the sticking point. And I may have said it in a little bit clunky ways, but that's the sticking point. It's insurance related and it's Obamacare related. Which, by just so we both know, or Sammy knows too, but Obamacare's rates uh, are scheduled, if nothing changes, to go up by 30% in 2026. So that's why the left is saying we got to extend what deal Obama put in place in 2010. We need to extend that so that these people, this is part of their virtue signaling, in my opinion, that these people on Obamacare aren't hit with a 30% increase. I don't want those people to be hit with a 30% increase either. But that's the biggest, that's the hang up.
Is this the first time it's ever gone up?
Yeah.
Eh,
And since
Well,
2010.
okay.
Yeah.
15
Which is when
years,
it started.
30% is 2% a year.
Yeah.
Didn't we see an inflation during a lot of Obama's era
Yeah.
where it was going up 18, 19, 20% a month? I mean, maybe the problem was it should have been going up all
Along.
along
Yeah.
like
I mean,
everything else
it's like a
did.
balloon payment
Okay.
almost, right?
Yeah. Um, but it's it's ironic. This is something I had predicted in my head. Every time we have a shutdown, it doesn't really shut our country down. And I think about um, where has it had the biggest impact? Well, one is the reduction of TSA people for airport lines.
Right.
The other is air traffic controllers.
Right.
And but the whole of life does continue to just roll merrily along. The post office has been privatized. We still get our mail.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
Mm-hmm.
so the food deal
Yeah.
is we
None of
got
us in this room have had any impact that we can point to, negative impact in our lives because of the shutdown. But I think we've now hit that threshold as it relates to the days and weeks
yeah,
where air traffic controllers, what was the other one you mentioned?
TSA.
TSA, others in similar departments or categories are not getting paid. And so tomorrow,
And when was the last time you flew?
oh, it's been a
I mean,
year.
there's
Yeah.
I would say the percentage of people that don't take an airplane flight in the last 12 months,
Yeah. Yeah.
95% of the people haven't taken an airplane
Probably
flight.
so.
You
Yeah.
know,
I mean, yeah, so they're not, we're the average person here in Waxahachie, and I think in parts, everybody listening to us hasn't really been impacted. If you have, I'm sorry. I can't do anything about it, but I'm sorry that you have to experience this because I don't think it's necessary. To that end, or to that in that context, what the Democrats, Schumer and the gang, is also refusing to do is to sign a continuing resolution. They call them CRs, which they're I don't know how many, 13 in a row have, when this happens, because we deal with this shutdown stuff every year. Chuck Schumer has even said himself, we need to be signing clean resolutions um, to keep this government open. Well, now they're even rejecting to sign those, so they know full well that tomorrow, the tipping point is that tomorrow, SNAP, which is Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, which is a fancy way of saying food stamps, gets stopped tomorrow. So people who
stop
legitimately,
issuing it
yeah,
or
no more are being issued.
if you got food stamps, you can still use them
You can
though.
still use them, but you're not going to be sent your new batch. Now there are some people out there, the 42 million people that are on food stamps in America. I don't know what percent, but there's some out there who could be working just like you and I and Sammy work. So I don't have any empathy for those people, but for those people who are legit in need, for them to be cut off because our government can't get its act together. And I'm blaming the left on this because Schumer could sign that CR in a split second and keep this government open and these people fed. But because he's being challenged with a primary threat from AOC, and whenever his term's up, he's not wanting to do anything to tick off the far left. So he's playing this game, but he's playing it at the expense of the American people, and it's dead wrong. So it's the tipping point is tomorrow. And my theory, I told my wife this last night, my beautiful, precious wife, who as much as I love her, I like her equally. I mean, I enjoy being with her. You know, there are people that love others that don't
Amen.
like them.
Amen.
But man, do I ever like being with my wife, and I think she knows that. Hope she knows that. She should. But anyway, I was telling her last night that what was I telling her? I was talking about the shutdown. Oh, that tomorrow, with so much on the line, it being the tipping point, don't be surprised if Schumer comes in, run into a press conference out of breath, and look what we did. We signed the deal to keep it open. So applaud us, because we are the ones responsible for making sure that SNAP doesn't end and all these other folks get paid. It will be the classic virtue signaling ever out of the left. It's part of their
Revisionist
playbook.
history. If it happens in the next 19 minutes while we're still on the air,
Yeah,
please
we'll
let us
tell you.
know.
Oh
No,
yeah, you tell
you
us.
can tell us.
All right, we're gonna skip the Pat McAfee because we're not gonna have time. But I am gonna. We are in the next few shows. We're gonna talk about a guy named Pat McAfee. For if you're a sports fan, you'll know who that is. He's also a very popular podcaster. He took the place of Lee Corso on College Game Day, ESPN's College Game Day, which is wildly popular. Uh, had they not found somebody like him, it would have tanked, I believe. But Pat McAfee is a former punter in the NFL for the Indianapolis Colts. He's a loud mouth in a sense that I don't mean that derogatorily. He's a frat boy kind of, but he's also, when we talk about him and you hear about what he's doing to help students, particularly with that field goal thing that they now have, a kid the other day, I don't know where they were. Was it? Yeah, that's right. Made a 30, Pat McAfee and Kirk Herbstreit do it, but kicked a you kick a 30-yard field goal. In this case, no, in this case, it's 500 grand. And then along with that is 250,000 to other charities and nonprofits, and then another and 250 to something else. So it's $1 million. Uh, that money just doesn't fall out of the sky. So I just want to talk about Pat McAfee, men like him, and what kind of force they have, or what kind of, I mean, we got Charlie Kirk, we got Pat McAfee, who both, I think, want the same things. They go back about it in such different ways. And so I want to talk a little bit about him. That said, let's talk about coaches getting fired and the mountain of guaranteed money that they end up with as they leave. I saw a clip the other night of Brian Kelly. This was he was leaving. I don't know what day was he fired? Sunday or Monday? Whatever day it was that he was fired, that it came out that he was fired. The next day at 5 o'clock in the morning, there was a video of him. It's dark. Video of him coming out of the athletic offices on the campus of LSU, getting into his car. He's got a big box he's carrying, so he's obviously cleaned out his office. And I don't know if the video was to make people feel bad for him, feel happy that he's leaving, but I am almost certain, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that he's getting in his car realizing that he's going to make $54 million if he doesn't coach another day in the NCAA. You add the $54 million buyout, then that's what they're called, buyout. And some of these buyouts, as I was mentioning to Jeff, have what's called an offset clause. So if you're a coach, like Brian Kelly has an offset clause. So he's owed by LSU $54 million after getting fired. They're going to have to pay that unless he gets another job. So if he gets another job, then the difference between what he's being paid by that school and the $54 million is what LSU would be responsible for. So if and I don't know how that all works financially, how they do all the figuring, but that's the offset. So if he gets a contract for $54 million from another school to be their coach, then LSU doesn't owe him anything.
So I think the way I read it was $100 million contract for 10 years, and um, if they can them, he got 90% of that, which puts you at 90 million. And I think he's 4.5 years
Years
into
into
it.
it. So that's
That's
how you
where
end
you
up at
get. That's
54.
there's where
Yeah.
you get your 54. Now, so that means he's got to sit out of coaching for 5.5 years.
Yeah, you got
Could
to
you
be.
could you do that for 54
Well, that's
million?
the question. These guys, I
What
don't.
what drives him?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I make the claim that they aren't driven by money. Now they want the money, but they aren't driven by money. Otherwise, they would just stay out of coaching. But very few uh, have left and not come back. Ed Orgeron, who ironically happened to be the coach before Brian Kelly at LSU, who had won a national championship with Joe Burrow, ended up getting a buyout of 17 or 19 million, and he has gone away. Now he's chirping that he would be. Somebody asked him, uh, would you be interested in being the coach at LSU? And he's like, heck yeah. So I don't know if he's doing that for the money or if he's doing it because he wants to be a coach, but most of them want to continue coaching. Franklin from what's his first name, Sam? Dennis James Franklin, the coach who just recently got fired at Penn State, is owed 49 million, but he doesn't have an offset clause, from what I understand. So he can get another job and he'll still get paid uh, from Penn State. I had a job years ago in one of the metro markets that I worked for, where I left, take another job, and uh, I my separation package, which was pretty nice, paid me for another year, and I didn't have any kind of offset, so I was paid my salary for another year, and I got another job right away, and so I was getting two salaries at one time. So a sweet deal. But
It's a double dipper.
you add James Franklin, you add uh, Orgeron, you add Brian Kelly, and you add the biggest one of all is Jimbo Fisher, who at A&M, who had a 75 million 10-year deal. He's owed, I don't know how many millions. He's owed a ton. So the in the aggregate, these coaches, the notable ones that I've mentioned, and there's a couple more that I'm not thinking of. There's 155 or 56, somewhere in that neighborhood, $1 million right now being paid by state-run institutions, taxpayer dollars, that are paying these coaches a total of 150 plus $1 million. Now listen to this. This is Brian Kelly, and what he's getting paid for the next 6 years. All right, that's what this 54 million is being paid over 6 years. He's getting paid per second 31 cents. Per minute, $18.46. Per hour, he's getting paid $1,107. Per day, he's getting paid $26,582. Per week, he's getting paid $186,076. And per month, Brian Kelly, for the next 6 years, is being paid $808,000, $333,000 to not do a thing. Now, I mean, the offset, I don't think the offset includes speaking, you can go coaches clinics and other things, camps and all that. I mean, he can make money any other way, but that's how much, when you break it down, is that not almost unfathomable? Unfathomable. It is to me. So we have, and here's the last thing I'm gonna say on this. Maybe the most crazy thing about it all. Do you know the athletic directors at Texas A&M and LSU that signed those deals? Do you know who they are? The same dude. Scott Crawford, I think is his last name is Crawford, was the athletic director at Texas A&M that signed the deal for Jimbo Fisher. Left A&M 4 years ago, went to LSU, hired Brian Kelly under the same setup. And now the governor of Louisiana has said the athletic director at LSU is not going to hire the next LSU coach.
Simply put, we have a vicious circle,
Yeah,
and it all comes down to keeping up with the Joneses,
pretty
and
much.
it all comes down to how much money is from football, in particular basketball, from all sports.
Yeah,
What an effect that has on the university's budget.
yeah,
And but college football fans, they're about as loyal as Cowboys
yeah.
fans. You can go for, my college football team has bad year after bad year after bad year, but I still root for them. I still cheer for them. And
Mhm.
that's how people have their allegiances.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you get a vicious circle like this, what breaks the cycle? There's no breaking the
There is
cycle.
no breaking the cycle. Really and truly, that's why you're going to end up, it's only going to be a matter of a couple more years before we're going to have $100 million annual salary NBA player, no doubt. I mean, that is the sport that's growing exponentially the fastest in terms of the amount of money paid out. And I mean, baseball too. Shohei Ohtani has a $700 million 10-year contract.
It's
Now
all
he's
backloaded.
deferred it. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's deferred all but 2 million of it a year. So he's going to walk away just loaded. It was already loaded, but that's 700 million, I believe, is the biggest in any sport. But we're headed to $100
Yeah.
million
Yeah.
salary, 100 million a year.
There was a guy up there at the plate the other night, and they said that Otani is getting paid more per pitch than this guy gets paid per year.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It is crazy. All right, we're running low on time, so let's head straight to. You got a poem today?
I got a poem.
All right, let's hear it.
Timely. It's called Election.
Yeah, it's timely.
And remember this, even though it's not in a big election year, and I can't speak for every other state, but in our case, we have 17 state legislative amendments on the docket, and the
Yeah.
most important one that I care about is $100,000 additional relief in property tax valuation. And if you're over 65, it's an additional 60. So if you owned a house that was worth 300,000 and you were in that case, you took 160 off. Wow,
Yeah.
that makes a big difference. If
Yeah.
it's 500,000, if it's
Yeah.
$1 million, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
But those are big percentages.
Yeah, people have
Yeah.
called me and said, Scott, I told Jeff, Scott, I went and voted, but I don't know if I got the whole thing because it was only just amendments. And
Yeah.
for many people in our county, in our city, this is a constitutional amendment election. Although there are precincts, certain precincts that'll have people running for uh, justice of the peace and I don't
Yeah.
know, commissioner, things like that. So, but it's largely just amendments. All right, let's hear it, Jeffrey.
And this one came from my very first book, and it was written in the tumultuous 2020s
Yes.
on October 27th of 2020. It's called Election, and it goes something like this: reflection, election, dejection.
Mhm.
These terms go hand in hand. Come November, we vote across this land. So do your civic duty, even if the choices are kind of pooty. If you don't like the choice, just be glad you have a voice. If you want to be heard, you may have to stand in a herd. We celebrate democracy, a revolt from English monarchy. Sure beats a dictatorship where the one big boss runs the ship. Lead, follow, or get out of the way. You have a chance to have your
Hey,
say.
say.
If you want to complain, you're free to run for office. Now you're the one who must explain. We've got mail in vote, early vote, or stand distance in the big line. Oh, remember the distancing in the big line?
Yeah, I do.
Take your pick. I don't want to hear you whine.
Right.
Here in 2020, you may not like either ticket, but if your folks lose, please be peaceful if you decide to pick it. Well, that didn't really come out quite the way we
No.
thought that might want to come
Yeah,
out.
those were weird days.
Yeah.
All right, day in history.
Day in history.
What do we got?
Oh, my kind wife Rita. She loves giving these to me every day. I went 3-3. We only have 6.
Okay.
They look just like the Stars.
Oh,
They won the first 3 and lost the
yeah.
next 3. Here we go.
Yeah.
The radio play War of the Worlds, starring Orson Welles, aired on the CBS radio network. The broadcast panicked some listeners in its portrayal of an invasion by Martians.
1973.
1954.
1938. This was the times before TV when people sat around at
Listen
night
to a radio.
Radio.
all around the radio listening,
Yeah.
and they thought that was real.
Terry says very good on your. Thank you, Terry.
Take it. The Soviet Union tested a hydrogen bomb, the Tsar Bomba, with a force estimated at about 50 megatons, over 3,500 times that of the atomic bomb dropped in Hiroshima. It remains the most powerful nuclear weapon ever detonated. Soviets tested a bomb on their own.
1954.
59.
61.
Booyah.
Good job.
Sammy, you got it. What'd you say?
54.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Here we go. Terry Beasley, he got the
Yeah.
38. Nice
Oh,
going,
wow.
dude. All right. An Illinois Central Gulf commuter train was struck by another train on Chicago's south side, killing 45 people and injuring 350.
77.
67.
72.
Got it.
We both
The
got it.
Chicago commuter line, I'll give you a bonus. You probably know this. It's got a famous nickname. What do they call their commuter train in Chicago?
I don't know.
Not the bullet train.
Not the Metro.
The L.
The L. Yeah.
It's an
yeah.
elevated line.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Voters in the province of Quebec.
Terry got it. But what was it? What was that? I
Yeah.
think he got that one too.
34.
Good job, Terry. Oh, I'm sorry.
My wife many people pronounce this town as Quebec, and up there they call it Quebec. Quebec.
Mhm.
Voters in the province of Quebec narrowly defeated a referendum that called for sovereignty within a new economic and political partnership with Canada. That's a fancy way of saying Quebec wanted to secede from Canada and be its own nation and have its own relationship with Canada, but they
Yeah.
wanted to be. A lot of it had to do with them being French speaking.
Yeah, I get that. Sure.
1976.
I'm gonna say 1984.
95.
I tried
What
doing
was it? 95.
Yeah.
Thing.
The late great Rosa Parks was the first woman to lie in honor at the U.S. Capitol Rotunda. Parks became a civil rights icon by refusing to give up her seat on a segregated bus to a white passenger in 1955. So when did she die? This happened in
Oh, 2003.
I was gonna say 2002.
5.
Oh.
Good work, Sam. Good
Yeah,
work.
good.
And we close with the United Auto Workers said it reached a tentative deal with General Motors, capping a whirlwind few days in which GM, Ford, and Stellantis, which is they make cars for a lot of other people, agreed to terms that would end the union's targeted strikes over 6 weeks. UAW members later ratified the contract.
2022.
17.
23.
Oh,
Oh, we both
man.
got it.
Sam, you're
Very
doing
good.
great. What'd you do?
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 and 2.
4 and 2.
4 and 2. You beat the big guy.
I
Yes,
was
sir.
4 and
All
2.
righty.
Sir.
Good work, man.
All right, very good. Yes, couple of things before we close. We got Scarborough Hollow tickets, so I don't know if that ends with
Saturday
Halloween.
the 11th is when it
Okay,
is.
so if you're interested in going out to where Scarborough Fair is, out on 66, going towards Maypearl, it's where Screams was. There's now a more family friendly festival on every Saturday starting at 2 p.m. They'll also be open just tomorrow night for Halloween. So if you want tickets, we have plenty. Come see us, call us, email us, Facebook message us, any way you can get to us. And if you want the tickets, we'll be happy to give you as many as you would like. This show is brought to you by Hoosier Meats, HoosierCustomMeats.com. It's actually called Hoosier Custom Meats, but if you want to reach them, it's HoosierCustomMeats.com. That's a mouthful. Their phone number is 903-688-1446, 903-688-1446. They produce, sell all kinds of meats in all kinds of ways and for all kinds of purposes. They'd be great holiday gifts. So Hoosier Custom Meats.
right down the road from us in Italy, Texas. Hey, you got a true facts that sound
I
like
do. Before one of the things we're working on some videos. I am, along with Sammy, working on some videos regarding local things here in Waxahachie. I am, as a number of other people, a growing number of people, really concerned about what's going on with 3 members of City Council. We're going to talk deeper about that and why it's such a concern and some of the examples of the trouble that's being created. Out of our true facts that sound like, you know what? True or false? Hitler had a nephew who fought against him in World War II.
False.
I'll go true.
True.
Ah,
William Hitler, who later changed his name to William Stewart Houston for obvious reasons, served in the United States Navy during the war. So there you have it. So thank you for being with us. We'll be back next Tuesday at the same time, noon. We'll have a lot more to talk about, a lot of different topics. Thank you for being here, Terry. We hope you continue to feel better. If you need us for any reason, you let us know. All yours, Jeffrey.
Well, particularly be safe tomorrow night, tonight also. But boy, those trick or treaters, they're out there. It's dark.
Yeah.
They're not paying much attention.
No.
They're all over the roads. Be safe. Have a great time. Don't eat all the leftover chocolate and make it a great day. And please try to put a smile on somebody's face today.
Thank you. Bye-bye.